Welcome back. This is my 2004 Mini Cooper S. It's my dirt cheap Mini. There's going to be other videos about it. I have less than $1,000 in this thing and it rips. I actually owned this car a long time ago. It was really nice back then. Sold it, found it again, and wanted to save it, so I bought it back. I've been working on it. It's going pretty well. This video, though, is going to be about fixing all of the plastic trim, restoring it. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So there's two ways to restore plastic trim. You can paint it, which is going to be the best results. If you take it all off or you mask it all off, I like the Duplicolor plastic paint. Works great. I've had great experience with that. But that takes a lot of work. You either got to really mask off everything good or preferably take it off and paint it, and it will look brand new. The other option is to use some sort of chemical to restore it. But if you've ever tried those, you know, it looks good. You wipe it on, it looks good, and then 5 minutes later, it looks like crap again. It looks just the same. But I recently found something that works unbelievably well on plastic, and that's what we're going to use today. That is the Vice Grip Garage Shine Juice. So this is actually a patina preserver to put on, you know, rusty cars and everything. It gives them kind of a sheen. Looks really good. I used it on my old Farmall tractor. Looks great. That's actually another video if you want to check that out. Just a couple months ago, I was working on my Land Rover LR3 I had, and it has tons of plastic trim. It was all faded, same deal. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this on it. And sure enough, it worked wonders. I was blown away by how well this worked. And not only did it work, but it lasted. I mean, a month later, it looked just the same, which is crazy. And this isn't advertised as this use, but I'm telling you, this stuff works great. I'm going to show you how I use it for restoring trim, and you'll see the results for yourself. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off on the front bumper here, because this is the worst part on the car. I'm going to do a before and after for a thumbnail, and also just for the video, you can see just how well it really works. There's a couple things to note. You know, there's like some holes in this and stuff, and obviously, you know, no chemical is going to fix that, but it'll make it look, you know, 9 out of 10. So there's a couple things you need to do before you just start slapping this on there. You have to clean all the plastic really well, which I've already done. I cleaned the whole car and really went over everything, and you can clean it with like some glass cleaner, or you can really use acetone or anything. You just got to get any wax, dirt that's on here off so that this can sink in and really attach. So this Shine Juice is $55 now. I bought this when it first came out. I think it was $50 at the time. But here's the thing. I bought this a couple of years ago, and it's still like 2/3 full. I did a whole tractor. I did a bunch of trim. I've done several cars. You don't need much of it. It lasts a long time. To apply it, you can really use any rag, to be honest. I'm going to use this microfiber, but you can use a t-shirt, or I wouldn't use paper towels. It's probably shed too much, but pretty much anything that doesn't shed is going to do just fine. So let's go ahead and put this on here, and it's pretty much as easy as you think. Now, when you get around the painted areas, you might want to tape it off, which I might actually do down here because this doesn't have much wax on it. The rest of the car, I just waxed. I didn't get down here yet, so I am going to tape this off. But the parts that are waxed, you know, just get nearby it and wipe off on the body. It won't really attach to the body if it's freshly waxed. Well, I'll start right here real quick. We'll see how that goes. If I can get this open. There we go. All right. So, gonna wipe this in. I was gonna try to do this, but I don't think that's gonna work too well. So we'll just stick it down here. Get a piece of tape on there. That'll work. All right. The tape is nice because you can really get in that edge and get the Shine Juice in there. But as you can see already, it's making a huge difference. And it is kind of just sucking it in real quick. So I'll probably do like a second round on this. I'm not going to go underneath, that's kind of pointless. So, get just a second hit on this. The nice thing about this stuff too is once it dries, it doesn't feel oily or anything, it just looks like new trim. And I'll show you that a little later when we're done. Alright. Alright, now what we're going to do is just wait a couple minutes and then come back with another microfiber, or you can just use the other end of the one you're using and just kind of wipe off the excess, and then you're done. That's pretty much it. So let's wait a couple minutes and then I'll wipe that off. All right, it's been a couple minutes. I'm gonna come in and wipe this off. Wipe off the excess here. All right, pull this off. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that's a world of difference. Since we just got this little bit done, we'll pull this off, and so really nice. See that nice line? Yeah, it seeped in a little bit, but obviously you can tell the difference before and after. So that looks pretty good. Pretty much all you gotta do is go around the whole car. So probably gonna do a bunch of time lapses, but yeah, that should do. So let's get to it. All right, I made it all the way around the car with this plastic trim. There's some odds and ends up there I gotta do, but I'll do those later. The last thing I'm gonna do is, kind of in here on the inside lip. I'll save that for last because it's dirty. I mean, I cleaned it, but it's always gonna be dirty. So I'm just gonna go to town on all those parts. Here like this, some of these edges. All right, so after I let it sit for a couple minutes, really let all the shine juice soak in that's going to soak in. And now we can go around and just wipe off all the excess. So you can kind of see how this is all still shiny because there's still, some shine juice on top. But if I just come in here and wipe this down, here you see it goes down to that even, nice, new trim looking style of shine, which is what we want. And this might still look a little too, juiced up, but after about a day, it still evaporates a little more and then it'll be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a full loop around here, just wiping up all the excess like this. And then we're pretty much done. Well, it's the next day, and man, does this trim look good as new. Like I said, once you wipe all the excess off and then let the rest kind of just dry, it really evens out nicely. It looks, just good as new. The other nice thing about this stuff is, you can touch it and there's no residue. It doesn't feel oily or anything. In fact, when I use this stuff on my Land Rover, the plastic door handles were like black plastic and they were faded. And I used this stuff on it, and it worked. They looked brand new, and also it didn't leave any residue on your hands, which is amazing. The stuff's really good. The other thing you can use it on is, like faded wiper arms, anything metal, pretty much anything black. It'll make it look brand new if it's a little faded. It is harder to use on stuff like this, anything with like a shape on it, because, you can't really get into the crevices, and then some parts are nice and dark, and other parts aren't, so that's kind of hard. I would recommend just like painting stuff like this. But if you just want to get your faded plastic looking 90% better, definitely the way to go. John from the future here. I was editing this video and realized I needed to give an update on how well the shine juice is held up on the trim. I filmed putting the shine juice on the trim about a month ago, towards the end of March. I was like 28th, 29th. Today is May 2nd, and a lot has happened since then. I've put about a little over 1,000 miles on the car since then. I've got it inspected, took it on a bunch of trips. A turkey actually came through the windshield. I've just been daily driving it. I've taken it down gravel roads, and since it's May in Pennsylvania, I've driven it in every weather: rain, snow, hot, cold, sun, clouds, everything you can imagine. And the trim is held up amazingly well. So I'm gonna go around real quick, show you the trim. Still looks great. Honestly, it looks like I just did it. And I even have washed this car probably 3 to 5 times since then. And one time I had it up in the mountains, I was driving through a grass field that was muddy, so the whole side of the car was covered in mud. You know how when mud gets on plastic trim, it kind of like soaks in. So I actually scrubbed the plastic trim along the rockers, and they still look good as new, which is crazy. So let's go around, take a look at it real quick, and you can judge for yourself. So it still looks pretty good. I mean, compared to what it was before, it's still 1,000 times better. And like I said before, when I was driving this thing through a grass field, this whole side of the car was covered in mud because I was just bombing through a field. And to get that mud off, it came off the paint pretty easily, obviously, but to get it off of the plastic, I had to get a car wash brush and pretty much scrub it with soapy water. And I really thought that would take the shine off, and it didn't at all. It looks great. You can see like right here where rocks and everything are getting blasted up. It took a little bit of the shine off, but overall, it looks great. And I put this car through way more abuse than a normal car would have. You know, I was bombing down gravel roads. There's tons of bugs. And like I said, hot, cold, snow, rain, washed the car a bunch of times. The trim looks great. There's still a couple parts on the car I want to do, like this back windshield wiper and the front ones as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do these. I might just paint those. We'll see. I can also probably hit this here. But overall, super satisfied with how this is held up. It's good stuff. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this helps you out with your faded plastic trim. The Vice Grip Rod Shine Juice works great. If you want to buy some, I'll have a link in the description. And I don't have an affiliate code or anything, so I'm not going to get anything from that, but it's worth buying. It works great. And maybe you have a home remedy for what works great on plastic trim. You can leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'd like to know. But as far as what I'm going to be using from now on, it's this Vice Grip Rod Shine Juice. Works amazing on plastic. So I got a couple more cars to put it on, and you know, we got a lot more cars to work on and make more videos. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that, or not. I don't care. See you later.